talk a little bit about your transition as a Texan, because you have people that are from the Austin scene, even though Scott Sargent himself may be replanted, but these are people who are part of the Austin scene, and where you've kind of come and had kind of really made your own imprint in that scene, and have become really an active participant in it. What was it like, working with some of these people like Lennox, who was from Texas and stuff, and Lennon, and getting this band together, and obviously believing in you and the music that you guys could make and create, and I think ultimately at the end of the day it's just the vibe between you guys that is a reflection of this piece of work.
I had come down because of my genuine wanting to be in music again, and I had gone out and done a tour after a year, and I had absolutely hated it. And I went back to New York in 2004 or 2005, and I came back down to Austin once I was in New York, because I realized that I hated New York. And it wasn't where I was living, it was what I was doing and who I was doing it with. I grew up with some guys, some real goombas, Rob.
I know, you told me.
Here, I'm not a little kid that grew up, playing soccer with his friends in the field. I grew up with some real heavy dudes, and some real heavy dudes that run a lot of the things up in the New York area. And these are the people I grew up with. So a lot of what New York has to offer is at my fingertips. And that's a great lifestyle if you want to be in that lifestyle. But that's not for me. There was a camaraderie that I hadn't felt in a long time as far as friends in the music scene. So I said, you know what? I called up Scott Sargent, who moved back to San Francisco, and I said, Scott, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going back to Austin. He says, what are you going there for? I said, you know what? I'm done with music. I'm going down there to live, not to do anything in particular musically, because I don't want to. I want to go down there and I want to enjoy life. Austin gave me something that wasn't available for me up in New York, and that was literally time to understand myself. When I found that kind of equilibrium where I was sitting down and I was saying, I know what I want, I know what I want to do, I know how to go about getting it, everything started to fall in place, and the opportunities opened up to jam and do music again. I wasn't thinking about doing MOD, but it just so happens that that's what it evolved to. But really what happened, more importantly, was hanging out at Headhunters on 8th Street in Red River, where I work, and I mix front of house, and as well as do some promotion there, and I play there, of course. I'm playing there this May 2nd. And mainly a place where I go to socialize, I found myself loving music again. I saw these bands get on the road from everywhere for nothing, 50, 60 bucks. And I said, these guys are going up there and they're killing, and it's a Monday night. Wow, I wish I had what these guys had again. I didn't have the fire to play music anymore, and it was something that only Texas could give me back. And I realized that when I was up in New Jersey, that something's missing in my life. I just didn't know what it was, and I still may not have a full grip on everything that I want to bring into my life right now, but music has come back to me full circle in a big way. I love being a part of the Austin music scene. As you know, I reach out and I help everyone and anyone that contacts me for any kind of information or advice or production. I love to help struggling musicians out, because their struggle becomes another path for me to understand what I want to do.
But as we talk about things that are upcoming in 2008 for MOD, you were sharing with me a little bit that you're about to release your record in Japan, and that you're going to be hitting some other places too. So share with the people a little bit about that.
Well, believe it or not, this is the first MOD record getting released in Japan domestically, and they have asked us to tour it upon signing the contract, which we just got yesterday, which means that we're looking at like end of June, July to go to Japan, which is fine for me. I'm not looking to make a ton of money, but I don't mind eating a ton of sushi. So, and it's good over there, dude. I give them a lot of credit for that, dude. But we also have a label that's released us directly in Australia, and we have a friend in Hawaii that promotes. So we're going to pond jump for that 4 weeks, it looks like. And then we may go out, and we've been talking to them, and we played with them in California, a band called Fuel to Fire. And they really want to go out with us in America. And we were thinking about doing 8 weeks, but we might do less, like 4, because I hooked up with Tommy Victor, over at the Ministry show in Austin, and he said to me, Billy, would you like to do an MOD Prong tour? And I think that would be fun, because I've never toured with Tom, and I know him, 20 years. So I think that's going to be a tour that I'm really looking forward to, and I think Chris from The Unsane wants to tour with us as well. So it'll be a pretty good package, but more importantly, it's something that MOD wouldn't normally do. But a lot of things have happened as a result of this tour, and we do have a great label in Europe, Ice Cream Records, and we just got signed to work with Mad Booking, which is the big booking agency for Europe. So more things are happening for me now for MOD than ever in the history of MOD. And then on top of all of this, I'm going to tell you a little secret. I haven't talked about this to anyone but my close friends, best friends. I'll tell you. And I know everyone's going to hear it, so. When MOD played our last show of this tour in Las Vegas, at the end of the show, we had kind of a riot at the show, and they closed the show down, and the cops came and closed the show down because I had a fight with the sound guy, and I threw the mic in his head, and, ruffian stuff. Nothing huge, stuff that was easily worked out. But a friend was there at the show, Paul Crook, who played for Meatloaf. Yep. He plays for Anthrax, and of course he did the Brian May show for Las Vegas, where Brian May hired him to run the shows. Well, he was at my show with a buddy of his who books the Hilton, amongst other places, but he books a private room at the Hilton, a small room. I get home from touring, and he calls me up, and he says, Billy, by the way, your show was awesome. I'm like, awesome. It was really good. I'm glad you liked it. It's really cool of you that you liked it. I appreciate you coming out. I would have liked to have said goodbye, but I thought I was going to jail myself. But he had said to me, I want to talk to you about something that came up between me and my friend that was at the show. And I was like, well, what's up? He says, it seems that my friend thinks that you would be a great Las Vegas act for his casino. And that Paul personally believes that as well. And so they're writing a show around me for Las Vegas where they're making it like the Don Rickles of metal. And it's going to be a real Vegas show. It's not going to be a band. It's going to be a show. So, and it's going to be comedy, spoken word, and music.